The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the 15-Point Plan podcast. Our goal on this podcast is to help give you practical tips and tools and a system to improve your energy, your mood, and decrease your stress. I'm Jacqueline Smith, and I'm here with my co-host, Ryan Greigg. And today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics this time of the year. We're going to talk about the point service. So Ryan, give us some ideas on why service is important. Why do you think Ben put service on the 15-Point Plan?
Jacqueline, the serve point on there, the idea of volunteering, donating, helping organizations in need, maybe just helping out a friend. I think the goal behind that is kind of taking your mind off yourself and putting it onto helping others for a little while and giving back. And in tracking this 15-Point Plan for a little while now, Jacqueline, it's the hardest point for me to get daily. And I found other people have a challenge with it too. Now, it's pretty easy for me to do an active service like in November this time of year because it's Thanksgiving and I want to maybe go donate something, right? So I think about it, but I don't think about it daily. So our goal was thinking, how can we do small acts of service daily? Mm-hmm. What are some little things that we can do that are acts of service that really make an impact in people's lives? Mm-hmm. And what are some of the larger things that we can do? Because we know when we take our mind and our activities off of ourselves and we do it out of the service of others, really amazing things can happen. Yeah. And I get a really big boost of energy when I just give with nothing in expectation of return.
Yeah. I was listening to something the other day, Ryan, and it was a podcast, and he was talking about how the people that just constantly think that or feel like life is a grind, that they tend to be more self-focused. And I think that's why Ben put that on there, is because the second we get our eyes, our focus off of ourselves and all of our problems and onto doing something nice for someone else, it is such a boost of energy and mood. You're kind of like not sitting there, like kind of like commiserating and being depressed about your problems. You're helping someone else. And I know for myself, it's something I pray every single morning. I pray and ask, I want someone to be highlighted today that needs something like an encouragement or a compliment or maybe some help with something. And we'll talk about some different ideas of how to get this point for serving for the 15-Point Plan. But I think sometimes if we struggle with getting this point, I think a couple of things could be happening. One, maybe you are kind of in a rut and really self-focused and just like really fixated on all your problems. I don't think that you're like that, Ryan. So I think you might fall into the second category. And I think there's another category of people where you just naturally do serve all the time, that you don't even really recognize it because it's just a part of who you are, that you minimize the little things that you actually do every day and you don't even realize it because it's just who you are. It's your nature. And I want to be that kind of a person.
Yeah, I want to be that kind of person as well, Jacqueline. And I appreciate you saying that, but I know I certainly have been that first type that you mentioned, where I did not think about others because I was just thinking about myself. And as I say that, it sounds kind of messed up, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's messed up when people just think about themselves because, we got to take care of ourselves. We have to make sure we've got everything we need. So I'm not talking about that in a negative way in the stages of my life where I have only been looking out for myself. And I was on that grind, like you mentioned. And I use that as an excuse. I'm on the grind, Jacqueline. I don't have time to give back. My friend Thatch Wynn, who is a realtor down in Seattle, super cool guy. Thatch has this cool quote. He says, stop the grind and get aligned. Stop the grind and get aligned. Get aligned with the reason why I'm doing everything. And the more I found, the more I give, the more I stop taking it all about me and do what I need to do, but also do these acts of service,
Yeah.
I'm really in alignment with who I'm meant to be and what the universe has put me on this earth to do.
Mm-hmm.
And things come a lot easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to grind like I used to. And life's a lot more fun because of it. So let's talk about some of these ways that we can serve others, that we can give back, from the smaller things up into maybe some of the larger things, Jacqueline.
Yeah. So I just want to say too, just to amplify what you just said, because I think it was actually really powerful and I don't want to skim past it. But I think there's this I don't know, thing out there in society where it's like, oh, if I have to take care of myself, like it's each man out for themselves. Like no one's coming to save you, that thing that's really popular right now. And I think that when you live life every single day looking for ways that you can add value to other people around you and make their lives just a little bit better, or give them a compliment, or give them, something that feels good, I think life does take care of you. And I think that you operate from a different place, different energy when you take that approach every day. And I think that it's almost like it keeps you out of that grind, and it keeps
Yeah.
you aligned. I like that saying.
Yeah.
The grind and get aligned. So one of the ways I think that you can serve others, and it's so simple and it costs nothing, is to just give a compliment to someone.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned on a previous episode, like how many thoughts we think every day and how many of those are negative, and to think nicer thoughts. Like just kind of look around and think about the people that are in your life that you're thankful for, right? When
Yeah.
you practice gratitude in the morning, you probably do this on the daily, but how often do you actually tell those people that made it onto your gratitude list
Mm-hmm.
that you're thankful for them? Or, hey, Ryan, you did a really great job on that webinar, on that training you did yesterday. I just want to reach out and tell you, you did such a great job. You had great energy. The flow was great. I loved it. We
Yeah.
think these things, we don't say them. So giving a compliment is so simple. It can be a text. It can be a phone call. It can be written in a card, which we're going to talk about. It can be a Facebook Messenger post on Instagram. Just anything like, oh, I actually really liked your post yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a compliment. So I love compliments. Ben taught me that. That's an easy way to get this point. What's another way, Ryan?
Yeah, it is. And you know what I think about on that, Jacqueline, is we are going to see and get in our lives what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm constantly looking to give people compliments, if I'm constantly looking for the good in people, if I'm constantly looking for a way that I can uplift somebody by giving them that compliment or those words of encouragement,
Mm-hmm.
or saying thanks, hey, you really, like what you said earlier today, really impacted me. And I just want to say thanks for that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly in a state of positive energy. And
Yes.
so guess what's going to come back to me more?
Positive energy.
Is that positive energy. So I'm like looking for ways to serve people, which is really looking for ways to be positive. And that's
Mm-hmm.
bringing more positive things back to me. So small things like compliments, encouragements, saying thank you, those
Yeah.
little things, right? And then maybe we look at like, what are some larger things that we could do? What are some bigger picture items that we could do? Maybe we're making our partner's coffee. Maybe we make the coffee every day, and one day we wake up, Jacqueline, and oh my gosh, Phil's made my coffee for me.
We did that the other night, and it was so amazing.
You have the best husband, and we talk about Phil all the time. I hope he hears some of these things, Jacqueline.
Better.
But it's like, okay, I don't know what prompted Phil to do that, but he thought of you clearly,
Mm-hmm.
and he did something that maybe took him a minute, a couple minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but it meant so much to you, right?
Yeah.
My partner recently bought me a whole new set of Tupperware because I had like 45 different boxes of Tupperware and 38 different lids and none matched. And now I got this whole really nice set of glass Tupperware with all matching lids. I didn't even think about it that much until I bring my breakfast and lunch every single day to work, and they have this nice Tupperware, and then I wash that Tupperware and I put it in my thing and I take it home. Every time I do that, I think of her.
I love that. It's so simple.
And it's like, I didn't ask her to do that, but she saw the opportunity to do something for me. She's really good at that. She saw the opportunity to do something that would make my life better.
Yeah.
And she just did it. And the cool thing is now every time I use a Tupperware, I think of her.
You think about it, and it's like improving your life. And so that's a really cool thing, because that one is like it's like an act of service or a random act of kindness, but it's also a gift. So
Yeah.
you can do things for people, especially people like me. My love language is acts of service, so it just means so much. Like for me, almost more than a gift is that act of service, like Phil making my coffee or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's kind of like the random act of kindness. Now, if a gift like your girlfriend, that's like a brilliant gift because it's like an act of service and a gift at the same time. And so I love that. So we forgot compliments, encouragement, just simple thank you. We've got random act of kindness or acts of service. We've got gifts. I don't want to skip past one that I love, and it's note cards. It's just
Yeah.
like good old fashioned note cards.
Yeah.
What a gift it is that someone is giving me a compliment or a thank you or an encouragement, and they actually took the time to write it on a card for me and give it to me. To me,
Yeah.
that is such a gift to get that. And we have, there's two people in my life that remind me of the power of note cards. And that is number one, our place president, Chris Stewart. He is the
Mm.
president of our company, and he still takes the time to write note cards. And I know that he writes them because he has handwriting that I have a really challenging time reading. And so he's not paying someone else to write them. He's actually
Yeah.
writing them. And then the
Yeah.
second person is on my team, Margie Eddings, and she loves note cards. And she's the one like 4 years ago when we got into business together, she kind of reignited my passion for note cards
Mm.
because they're so simple. So now I
Yeah.
always have a stack of them by my desk, and just to write a note card every day to someone.
So smart.
I actually have one right here. That-
They're right. I love how you keep them right there. So when you think about it, you don't have to go look for them. So you're keeping them there, and it's a really inexpensive way to show somebody that you're thinking about them.
yeah.
Those Tupperware. I don't know how much they cost. A couple bucks, right?
Mhm.
But something that I can do back for her is like I write her a poem every Saturday. There's no
Yeah.
cost on that, and I think it makes her happy. I think it brings some joy. So the give and take, and like there's certain things that we can do and serve that cost money, but there's plenty that don't.
Yeah.
One thing is our time.
Yes.
Right? If we don't want to spend some money, how can we serve by just giving back a little bit of time? Can we
Yeah.
go to an organization that's important to us and just donate an hour or two of our time? That's a great way
Mhm.
to serve that doesn't cost any money.
Yeah. Teaching a class is another way. So you can, if you have kids, going to volunteer and help the teacher volunteer at the school. That's an act of service. I'm teaching a class today at our brokerage. That's an act of service, right? You taught a webinar yesterday for our whole
Mhm.
company. That's
Yeah.
serving.
Yeah.
Um, and so volunteering our time, teaching, and then I think too, obviously donating money, donating resources. But I remember Ben teaching this class on giving years ago. And one of the most powerful ways that you can start multiplying your service is actually teaching others how to give and giving other people an opportunity to give. Because just like you, Ryan, you opened us up and said, like, you've struggled to get this point, right? And others have too. A lot of people struggle to get this point. So people want to give, they want to serve, but sometimes they don't know what to do or how to do it, right? And so that's why both you and I this year, we are doing a coat drive. So this is our 8th annual coat drive that we're doing. And you mentioned you're doing a coat drive. And so that happens for the month of November for us into December. And that is collecting coats for a nonprofit we have here locally. And that is providing other people an opportunity to give. Now,
Mhm.
they have the coats, they could try to figure out, well, where do I donate these and take them down, right? I'm providing an avenue for them to do it, making it easier, giving them an outlet. and facilitating giving. So I think that's a really powerful thing, is when you can involve others in your giving. So if you're going to volunteer, invite people with you to go volunteer that wouldn't maybe otherwise go volunteer.
Yeah. Yeah. And find out those little things that are important to you, like making sure no kids are cold for the winter time.
Yeah.
You know, we both have kids. We don't want to see any kids get cold for the winter. So it's an easy way to say, you know what, I don't want anybody being cold. Let me find a way to help give back.
Yeah. And it's a way to serve to the organization. So what happened with me is I fell in love with an organization we have here in Southwest Washington called Northwest Children's Outreach. The director, Mary, is like 80 years old. And it's 100% volunteer run organization. And every year they were trying to do this coat drive, but I mean, they're not on social media. They don't have a huge following. And so it was a way that I felt I could use my influence to help them promote this coat drive and to just do it for them. And now each year we collect, 2,000 coats every year for them. And they rely on this now, 8 years in, right?
You guys collect 2,000 coats, Jacqueline?
We didn't start here. So this started, Ryan, back in 2017 when I first got introduced to Northwest Children's Outreach, and I set a goal to collect 50 coats. But all this was me learning, wow, if I invite other people to do it with me, I can collect 50 coats by myself. Yeah. But when I invite people to join me on this mission and provide an outlet for more and more and more people to give, then it multiplies my efforts. And over the years, more and more people have gotten involved. We have drop boxes at various businesses. So other business owners in the community host collection boxes for us now. We have more and more people that just expect this coat drive every year. I mean, soon in a couple of weeks, we're going to start getting Amazon and JCPenney and Kohl's packages because people are shipping them from all over the country. So you can really multiply your efforts when you invite others to give along with you. And that's what I've become so passionate about, is how can we multiply our heart for giving and invite people along.
That is so cool, Jacqueline. That is incredible. I thought, man, it'd be really cool if I could get 100 coats, but it's my first year. So hearing that your first year was a goal of 50 coats, but just like in the matter of a few years, turning that to 2,000, that is so impactful. That is such a cool way to give back to the community. And you're showing others how to do it. You're teaching others how to do it as well. You're building and giving back to the community. Like you are just, that is incredible. That is really cool. So I hope our listeners can find what's important to them, right? Maybe it's on a coat drive. Maybe it's a food drive. Maybe it's, I don't know, collecting cleats for the soccer team. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But our challenge to you, as we're looking at this month of November and Thanksgiving time, if you celebrate that, and what's one thing that you could do this month that would be an act of service that you could give back, that you could then maybe grab a person or a couple people to go along with you on that? What's one thing that you want to challenge yourself for after you hear this podcast to get that service point for this month that you want to give back? Yeah. What is it? Let us know. Find us on social media on that 15-point plan for life group on Facebook, or you can shoot Jacqueline or I a direct message on Instagram, Ryan Park Greigg or Jacqueline Ray Smith. What's the one thing that you're going to do to give back in your form of service for this month? I'm curious. Let us know. And
if you don't have anything, you can send me coats or Ryan coats for our coat.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We would love your coats. And if you don't want to donate a coat, I would love a little note card or even just a text message.
There you go. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we hope you have a happy and healthy week. As always, we drop these episodes every Tuesday. Thanks for following along, sharing, liking, reviewing us. We appreciate you all. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.